Hi guys, this is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel. We talk about personal development here, and today I want to talk to you about shame and how I manage to deal with shame. I don't believe we'll ever learn completely to deal with like emotions like this of inadequacy or being like just not enough. But I've kind of like really found a way to deal with shame, and in a way that I didn't even know how much I was, avoiding shame until I really like faced it head on and said like, okay, that now it's like the time to really work on it. So I realized how very often I didn't do things because I knew if I don't do them, then there's still a chance that I'm better than this, that I'm not like ashamed of who I am. But I knew the moment I do it and it's not good enough, then I have to admit to myself, then yes, I am a loser. Yes, I am ashamed of, the person who like people will see and who people will judge. And it was like a huge turning point for me, a huge turning point, because then I realized, okay, I have to really face my fears, and that shame only lives in silence. So if you feel like ashamed to show something, it's because you haven't shown it yet. And it's never like really a secret most of the times. It's not something like, I don't know, you've had like a sixth finger and you want to shame people will find out. Most of the time it's just us showing our true self, showing how good we are at something, what we believe in, what we know, and how we look, whatever it is. Like for me also, when I started doing these videos, I knew they're not gonna be good. I knew like there's going to be mistakes in it. I knew that I'm not gonna look good in all of them. I knew all of those things, and I pushed myself anyways, knowing it's gonna suck, because then I figured out, okay, that's the way I need to like really address that shame, because I was just so into myself, like not into myself as in love with myself, but I was just so focused on what was going on in my head, of how people are gonna perceive me, what they're gonna think of me. And therefore I just didn't do anything, and I didn't realize it. That's the crazy part about it. I thought I was really outgoing. I thought when I go out, people look at me and I'll feel great, but that was, me playing a role. It wasn't me really sitting there and talking about the things I talk about, talking about the things that matter to me, because I thought, well, only losers talk about these stuff, only like that would just, people would be completely turned off by it or feel like that's completely boring. I've told you this, like none of my friends, none of my family ever watch my videos, which in a lot of ways is so cool because I can talk about everybody and like nobody really cares. I never get into trouble. So like, remember how often I've told you about my cousin, my friend, my dad, and it's never really been a problem. So I don't mind now, but in the beginning it was, me realizing the people are gonna see this, they're gonna like see this side of me, and how they're gonna react. I was completely shutting that out. So all of this was living as like this ashamed part in me, and now looking at it and know what I've accomplished and how many people I was able to help, I would ask myself, why wasn't I able to like really take that step? Only because I was ashamed of how people would perceive me, who I am. And it doesn't have to be something that you just like speak your truth in like this kind of like scenario. It's just also how you show up when you meet new people. Like when you go somewhere, it's about realizing that you're not the best, that you're second best, that you're maybe last, that you're still willing to put it out there and say, yeah, this is who I am and I'm gonna stick to it. And if you don't like me, then that's it. I'm not gonna change my I'm not gonna change. And most people have not figured this out yet. Like specifically when I was working and I was like in this high-paced, very stressful environment with a lot of people who just were working and doing so much. And you would say in a lot of ways it was like on a level where people were workaholics and like making a bunch of money and had so much power. And still you can tell those people were ashamed of really letting their guard down, ashamed of like really showing who they are, ashamed of saying maybe like this is too much work for me, and rather get pushed into like just keep on working because you see people left and right of you working and you always thinking you're not good enough. I was so ashamed of showing like my true colors and what I believe in and what is really what interests me, that I just didn't do it. It stayed within me, and that's just how shame really gets fueled, by staying within you. So remember, shame only lives in silence. So the moment you put it out there and you realize people are not gonna only judge you for how good you are, they're gonna see like, okay, you're not good, because like you're never going to be perfect, especially in the beginning. You're probably gonna suck at it. but you say, I'm gonna suck at it, and I'm not ashamed of it. Like, I'm not ashamed that I suck, because I know I have a growth mindset, meaning what I care about is that I face the challenge, that I see that I'm not good at it, and I start doing it, and I show you that I'm not good at it, and I'm gonna keep on pushing myself to get better at it because I love the process. Like, this is what's really gonna get rid of shame. But it's not going to happen if you say like, okay, it's gonna stay in me, people don't know anything about me, they still can project everything they want onto me. Like, I did this for the longest time because it was like so easy, and it was such a shortcut for people to be like, oh, okay, she is this certain way and I like her that way, and I did this. You know, like, one of the signs why this is working is if you have different personalities with the different people in your life. You know, once you really start putting this out there, this like doesn't exist. You feel like you're the same with everybody. And for me, it was like a real, like, putting myself from the inside out. Like, I've told you this in one of the last videos. It's been a huge shift for me. And so I know people have been asking me, how do you deal with shame? That's it. I put it out there. I like completely let people see me for who I am. If people want to get to know me and they meet me one day and then they see, let's say, my Instagram account, I thought they will be disappointed once they saw like what I care about. Once they saw my videos, that they're not that like quality wise great, and like the way I looked on them and whatever it is that I was talking about, like my worldview and the things I care about. I thought they'll see like that I'm not like as good as they thought I was, and you know, I will get rejected. And so now I've gotten to a point where I don't even think about that. Like, it comes up now because I'm talking about the subject, because people have been asking me, but I don't even think about what are people going to think about me when they see my channel. I do think that sometimes that they will then like see, okay, you know, maybe that's not as like good looking as like a really well done picture, but that's okay. Like, that's like the least of it. You know, the big thing for me was really like what I put out there, what I care about, how I present myself. And the fact is, I showed up before I'm ready. I didn't say I'm not going to present myself, I'm not going to show up because I don't look good in that scenario. I'm going to stay in there. I'm not going to go out there because I don't know everything. I'm going to go out there because fighting to get better is what gives my life a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning. Just trying to get better at something and showing up, like that's what I did for my work. I knew that I needed that. I cannot stagnate anymore because it really gets me depressed. I need to have this motion. I need to get like better at something, and that also means really standing up there and saying like, this is who I really am. You cannot shake me because I already faced that shame in me. You know, like, people can manipulate you into doing things, or you know, like really feeling like, oh, I have to prove myself, because there's still a part of you that you're ashamed of, that you feel like people have to give me recognition for, or people have to like for me to like it myself. The moment you say like, yeah, well, this part of me, I don't like it, like I'm ashamed, like really not, like I don't like it, I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the way people are going to perceive it, but I'm going to show it anyways. You start the most important step, which is acceptance. It's not like, you can't be like, okay, I have a self-confident, like low self-confidence, and then I'm just gonna love myself altogether. The step you have to take in the middle is to really accept that and say, well, okay, I'm not that smart. I'm maybe not that like pretty. I'm not that well educated. I'm not that wealthy. I'm not that well spoken. Whatever it is, and I'm just gonna put it out there because that's me. Like, why hide it? What for? What for should I hide it? Because like, everybody who likes you because they think you're smarter than you actually are, then like, you know, they don't like you. They just like who they think you are. So, and once I learned that, and then a lot of things changed, and now I'm really not shakeable. Like, no matter what people tell me, I'm like, I can stay there and say like, yeah, so yeah, that's true. So you don't like it, but I accept it. That's just who I am. Like, I'm not gonna sit in the background and not do anything just because I'm not like this ideal version that I wish I was. I need to grow and get better at it and realize what I can optimize, but I'm still gonna show up, and I'm not ashamed of it. And if people see me and say, oh, okay, like, well, you know, she's not as successful as I thought, then that's okay. Like, that's okay. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, want me to lie to you? I'm not gonna pretend I'm more successful than I am. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm prettier than I am by like only showing like really situations where I look optimal. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm smarter than I am. Like, all of these things, but I had to learn that. And once I learned that, a lot of things got a lot easier in my life, and shame is really not an issue anymore. So I really hope that helped you, because I don't want you to be ashamed of who you are. You're perfect the way you are. because you want to grow and you want to get better, and every one of us deserves to be here as much as anybody else, and there's nobody who's better or worse than we are. And so once we accept that and start like really seeing it that way, in a worldview of no matter what you do, you're just as worthy as everybody else, and you accept like your flaws and you don't hide them anymore, then life really starts making fun. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I wish you a great day, and I hope the wind wasn't too bad, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.